Hello and welcome, my name is Weird and Bearded. Dr. Wabyll cannot be with us today as he is currently busy over at the lab trying to figure out our quite pitiful food situation. And it's taking a little bit longer than expected, which means I do not have much time to make an episode for you guys today. But I do have a very, very vague plan, some specifics. But the idea is, we've got this big build, which I kind of just designed because I like the idea of following the hill, and I love the aesthetics of it. But I never really thought about, what are we going to put inside it? So we're going to start figuring that out today. As I said, there are some bits that I do already know, and by some bits, I mean 3. So we'll work from the top, because I know what's happening right at the top. That hopefully will be quite obvious. So let's make our way up. I do love the staircases just being in random locations. They may well move to fit what we end up doing, but the fact that they're sort of scattered around, I quite enjoy. I'm tempted to make this all open plan, not have any interior walls. We shall find out. But first of all, top floor, obviously, we've got to have our bedroom up here. So, bedroom. I want to get some way up onto the roof. Possibly a ladder on the outside, maybe an internal ladder. I don't know exactly where, so I'm just going to say here, we're going to have a ladder, and then on the roof, some form of observatory, maybe? Could be interesting. Certainly the best place for one. Another thing that I know I want, because of course we've got to do stuff out here, still waiting for all the grass to spread. I've not had much time on here, what with the Fever Dream going on. By the way, if you've not been seeing the Fever Dream episodes, you absolutely should. There are so many incredible creators on there. Yeah, we've got our mine shaft up there, which is a bit of a trek to get to. So let's have bridge to mine shaft. Bridge to mine shaft. There we go. And then the plan is we're going to be building out this way. So I want to get a nice big village. There's going to be a lot of terraforming involved. But yeah, we're going to be building out in that direction. There's going to be a lot of rope bridges as well, because we've got another mountain over there, a mountain there and there. So we've got to collect those. Not collect them, connect them. And we're going to be building other bridges to do so. I don't know if we're going to have too much else up here, just because there's not much space on the grass. This will probably just be some, flowers, foliage. I'm going to try and make something pretty, which is not my forte. Yeah, really the most space we have is out here, but that's where we're going to be putting the bridge. Possibly something here if we're going to have an observatory up at the very top. Oh, I don't know what we could have here. I don't know what we're going to end up doing. I've got some stuff planned for the future, but not everything. Let's go down the floor and we'll start figuring out what's going to happen down the floor. Yeah, this whole area's got to be sort of a bedroom / study type area. So I feel like this floor, I mean, we're going to need to eat. I feel like having the living quarters in the top 2 sections makes the most sense. So maybe having a little open kitchen area around here could be nice. And then around this area, make this sort of more of a living space. Living space. Yeah, just generally getting ideas down. By the way, if you're wondering what the logs are for, there if I change my mind halfway through this and decide to mark out where walls are going to go. So then how much space do we have on the grass around here? I don't think we have too much once again. We've got a little bit out here. We're still a few floors up. I want to put... There's definitely something I'm going to be putting out there. Which is kind of going to block the view a little bit, I imagine. It's going to be quite tall. But we could have another bridge coming from here up to there, because I've got an idea. There's a really nice space in the middle of that, and I want to use it for something. I don't know what yet, but I want to use it for something. So I'm just going to say bridge to mountain, and we'll figure out what that something is when we get to it. So we can probably get something in here. It may be one of the experiments that we end up doing. So the plan is most of the actual experiments will be happening over in what I've decided to refer to as Wab's Lab. I don't know why I didn't think of Wab's Lab earlier, but it's going to be Wab's Lab. But then more aesthetic things based on the experiments are going to be in this world. So some form of, what could be just a fun build project. 'Cause I've never tried building custom trees. So what I'm going to call the everything tree. Based on the idea that people do take sort of cuttings of trees and combine them together. There is a term for it. It has gone out of my head right now. But I've seen a fruit tree with several different types of fruit growing from it through this process. So it could be fun to have a nice big tree out here, which just combines the elements of all the trees. I think that could be quite cool. This really is just me doing things off the top of my head. Before I started filming, I did not know that that was going to be an idea. But I feel like this is going well. Okay, this area. I think the very bottom is going to be best for storage just because of how much space there is. You know me, I like gathering lots of stuff, and I like to make sure everything is in its own little area. So storage takes up a lot of space. It's not going to be an automated storage system. That's not what Dr. Wabyll's all about. Dr. Wabyll's all about the manual way of doing things. Don't worry, there will be ways for me to do redstone stuff in the future. I have plans. But what are we going to do here? This could make for a nice research room. I want to get some villagers soon. So having a load of villagers up here, I feel like this is enough space so we could have some clerics doing chemistry stuff. We could have the librarians up here. Cartographers as well. Yeah, I think I'm just going to designate this as generic villager space. So, generic villager space. I do know how to type, unfortunately, because my microphone is between me and the keyboard for better sound quality. It's difficult to say exactly what I'm doing, and I've got to reach around awkwardly. But then, I did say we're going to have a thing outside here. If we go round to the front, and this is going to be something happening very soon. In this section, I want to build a water tower. Because, of course, we're in a cherry grove biome here. The water looks amazing. So we're going to feed that in through a piping system going down into the ground, and that's going to irrigate the land. See, I told you Dr. Wabyll was working on a food solution. Will all of this be villager stuff? Quite possibly. Do we have a lot of space out here? Not that much, but I feel like if we're building a village out there, we could have another bridge just going down to other villager areas. So I want to have lots of room to move. Bridge to village. It'll essentially be a big farming area around here. Probably going to have to flatten a lot of that land off to have a more smooth hill. But then going into the big sprawling village. And then round the back. And this is something I am quite excited for. Let me eat my apples. Oh, Dr. Wabyll, you better fix that food situation fast. I think this is all the food I have right now. But around the back, we don't have much space here. We've got a lot of space down there that we can build it from. So let's go down another floor. Here we go. Okay. So out the back, we're going to have essentially a zoo. So this is where we're going to be studying all types of creature. I want to have everything realistically except for the dragon and the wither. We won't be able to get stuff like hoglins and piglins over here because they'll just turn, but we'll see if we can get everything else. But this could be a good place. So basically to have a viewing area. Now, of course, there's not been much lab stuff done. That's because I know a lot of the things that I want. Seeing as we have such a big area, I'm going to do a lot of things as sort of individual labs. Especially because of some of the setups that I want to do. It'll be more fun if you can go into an area and it's a fully contained aesthetic piece. I'm putting a lot of work on myself for somebody who does not believe they are good at aesthetic stuff. And apart from this house, this house might be the best looking build I think I've ever done. I mean, the ceilings could do some work, but I mean, just the staircases. I've never thought of staircases as an aesthetic thing before. But I went for it. And they line up perfectly, so you can see, as you're going up and down stairs, the pattern here is offset to the pattern up here. So here you're going from all around one of the squares to between two squares. I like the way they've made that work. Okay. So we've still got one more floor to go. So downstairs is going to be storage. Above us we've got the generic villager area. I feel like this is where we can build some of our smaller labs. Again, I don't know exactly what they're going to be because it really depends on what I come up with for each episode. It's not like I have the entire series planned. But this is going to be the lab floor. And certainly in one corner of it, and that feels like a good one because there are no doors coming immediately off it. Will be our main study. And I want to put in the chiseled bookshelves here so we can have books written about the stuff that we studied and store them away. I don't know. I'm making this all up on the spot. So then out here, obviously we're going to have the pipe system coming overhead from the water tower, which is going to feed down into there. But also this is where we're going to be able to sort of look out at our village. It's where our villagers are going to be. This could be just a nice garden. I feel like that's what this is going to be. So while we're going to have foliage and stuff on the upper floors, if we say that this is a curated garden, possibly with a water feature and things like that, that could be really nice. This is probably going to be quite wide all the way round, so maybe we just do a curated garden all the way around for this. Have pathways coming out from here, because the other floors we've got bridges to various places. So it makes sense why you would want to go outside to there. But here, if we could just have this as a decorative piece, I think that could work really well and fit in with our viewing area over on the other side. So then, on the final floor, of course, we have our storage system. Which, we've got plenty of room to fit in, but what I like about having plenty of room, because there's definitely more room than you need, it means we can have an entire section of, this is all of the wood stuff in its own separate storage system, which we can decorate to make it clear that it's all the wood stuff, without just having to put signs and things on everything. So, this is going to be the aesthetic storage room. And again, there will be elsewhere where I'm going to be able to build proper redstone storage rooms and all of that stuff. But that's going to be introduced quite a bit later. Sorry, I just hit the microphone. So this is our aesthetic storage. And I think I made way more signs than I needed. I think that's everything. So, it's not actually that much of a shorter episode, but a bit of a weirder episode today. This is just planning stuff. I did not have much time for this. There is so much going on this month. As I said, if you've not seen any of the Fever Dream stuff, go check it out. There are so many fantastic creators in there. We want to celebrate all of them. And because of me taking part in all that, there's going to be a lot of collab stuff coming up. After the Fever Dream, there's going to be something new and exciting. Hopefully not too long afterwards. But in the meantime, if you like the episode, please leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Weird and Bearded, and I will see you all next time.